Down goes Stonehenge. The memento to globalist population control and eugenics was mysteriously blown up a few moments ago, as this is some of the footage coming from Georgian authorities that are still trying to crack the case. What's happening here? What's going on? Well, who knows? But anyway, welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org. And boy, oh boy, do we have some explosive news to get into today. As of course, the people of Sri Lanka are feeling the Build Back Better Great Reset more than anyone else right now, as they look at Russia for help. This as of course, there are some very generalized, mysterious announcements coming from the Russian President Vladimir Putin. All of this as there are some very interesting twists and turns happening right now in Ukraine, which we're going to be talking about, as well as some new shocking developments with the son of the President of the United States. Lots to talk about, so much that we're just going to jump right into it. As of course, it's not just the Georgia Guidestones that are getting blown up, it's also the corporate media that is dealing with an all-time record ratings plummet, the worst since 1993. A lot of people expect these numbers to even go down even further. All of this mainly because the corporate media establishment are a bunch of liars. Salon just wrote an article about how allegedly students in Florida will have to profess and register their political views with the state, and even according to PolitiFact, that is just an outright false claim. It's a lie. It's made up. They literally grabbed it out of thin air and said, hey, here's something that's absolutely nothing that we just made up, absolutely disrespecting the viewer, the reader, the people going on to Salon.com, who most likely are asking themselves, why in the world am I on this website that literally makes things up? Well, that's a question that a lot of people should be asking, as of course the media is just acting like the PR wing of the establishment, and they routinely attack corporations, individuals, and entities that of course don't play ball. This as of course there has been an assortment of fake news surrounding Tesla, Elon Musk, right after of course Elon Musk started to ask for the Ghislaine Maxwell client list. Is there a correlation there? Who knows, but there sure is a lot of fake news and misinformation being spread by, quote, authoritative sources that, of course, are abusing the position of power that the public has entrusted them in order to push their political viewpoints, as perfectly represented by these two New York Times pieces, one describing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as a, quote, political star, and another up-and-coming Latina woman in politics as a, quote, far-right Latina. This is the same Latina that Elon Musk voted for that had a major recent victory in southern Texas. And as the media slanders, attacks, vilifies, and lies about almost anyone standing in the way of the establishment, anyone standing in the way of the current order, anyone even daring to ask some serious questions, the son of the president is literally running around naked, as there's an assortment of crazy photos and videos of him acting absolutely buck wild. This as today we're finding out from the Daily Mail that in January of 2019, Hunter Biden convinced his dad, Joe, to wire him $20,000 for a detox program, and then he later filmed himself in a deprivation tank, smoking crack, drinking liquor, and doing unspeakable things to himself. Family-friendly show here, we're going to keep the details vague, and of course this is the same son that conducted many important business dealings for the Biden family, which Joe Biden took half of his salary from, as Hunter Biden was getting lucrative contracts and business deals with China, Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, and many other countries that we still don't even know about, as of course the public information that we know about Hunter Biden is still just scratching the surface when it comes to the absolute clear corruption and deprived behavior that the Bidens are capable of. The larger question that I would kind of ask myself is, why in the world would someone film themselves doing this? Why would you be inside of deprivation tank and say, hey, this is a good time to get my cell phone out and start filming myself doing crack cocaine and doing unspeakable things to my own body? This, of course, is leaving a lot of people, including myself, to speculate that at the time of this recording, he might have been asked to do so as leverage, as a possible extortion ploy that is now being deployed against him, as of course this is some of the shocking information making light to the public. What else has happened here that we don't know about? Well, you can only imagine probably some of the worst deprived behavior that for right now you could only imagine. But again, we also have to understand here that such videos, such photos compromise the Bidens, their image, no matter how many times the corporate media tries to cover up these salacious, crazy details. This, as of course, Hunter Biden is under a federal investigation. What will come out of this investigation? Well, probably not much, since, of course, it's the federal government investigating its own federal government and its corrupted sons that they use for business dealings that are absolutely bewildering, enrich themselves while screwing over everyone else. Again, the business dealings between Hunter Biden and China are very telling. Could this be why recently Joe Biden sold millions of barrels of U.S. emergency oil reserves to China? Why are we getting rid of our strategic petroleum reserves and selling it off to China? What strategic benefit does it have to the country, to the public? None. What benefit does it have to the Bidens who have business dealings with them? Well, that's a question that I think is worth asking and is definitely worth speculating over. Again, you're dealing with a lot of corrupted, deprived individuals, and I'll save it at that because I have a lot more to say about this, and I will be talking about this later on today on LukeUncensored.com, continuing the conversation from this particular video and getting into a wide-ranging amount of topics, specifically when it comes to shocking videos that we can't show you here on this platform, and talking about particular self-defense cases that are absolutely important to understand, especially if you live in a major city. We're going to talk about that, plus the latest shocking developments from Uvalde, Texas, where we have some surprising announcements. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot of other too hot to talk about topics, all later on, right after this video on LukeUncensored.com, our own members area. 3 exclusive masterclasses, which you could download at the touch of a button, an exclusive forum to meet like-minded individuals, a store that saves you a whole bunch of money and gives you exclusive merchandise, which is only available to a select few number of individuals. You want to be a part of this club. You want to be a part of this organization. You want to get free tickets and be able to attend secret meetups. Your key to that is, of course, all on LukeUncensored.com. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? Sign up right now and get a lot more than just almost daily exclusive content, which we work on very hard to provide you almost every single day on our own unique platform that, of course, is a direct answer to the censorship that all of us are facing. LukeUncensored.com. See you there right after this video. And if you remember a while ago on that platform, I told you, hey, keep an eye on third world countries to see how far they will go in this great reset, build back better agenda, as of course, poorer countries are going to be affected by this larger agenda first, which is something you should keep an eye out, as of course it's an indicator of trouble coming your way. And now we have some major trouble unfolding in Sri Lanka for many political, social, and economic reasons, but the situation there is getting extremely desperate for the population there, as today we're getting information that the government there has banned the sale of fuel to private cars and is only being allocated for emergency vehicles, buses, and rail transports. This as even schools in that country have had to remain closed because of devastating economic and energy shortages because of the financial crisis unfolding there. And it does look like Sri Lanka is the first domino to fall, especially when it comes to what has been described as the Great Reset. Now, of course, there's other countries that are soon going to be affected negatively as well. It doesn't take a genius to see that, as of course, Norway is warning its population of possible electricity rationing. Germany is warning the possibility of a natural gas rationing. This as wood-burning stoves and dry firewood have completely sold out in Germany recently, as many people expect some major energy shortages this upcoming winter. Why is this happening? Is it an accident? Is it a coincidence? Is it because of a sickness that spread to the world? No. It happened because of central bankers and Agenda 2030, which is being carried out with some of the most destructive fiscal and economic policies that are being implemented by sociopaths in positions of power that have an affiliation and belief in population control. That's essentially what it is, according to my own personal perspective and opinion. This, as of course, the policies that have gotten ourselves here are absolutely nonsensical policies, like the ones being continued in Canada for some strange reason, even though there's no scientific backing or finding supporting the larger implementation of mandates that the government there has implemented against its own citizens, taking away their rights if they don't comply with the whims of Big Pharma, which are absolutely crazy. Here in the United States, the Biden administration is also trying to hike up the prices of energy and have done so in very successful ways by destroying domestic energy production and exploration, depending on Saudi Arabia for all of its energy, which of course is hiking up the price for their own personal benefit, while of course the Biden administration is shipping our strategic petroleum reserves over to China. One of the major problems with Sri Lanka is not just a very complicated dependence on the US petrodollar. It's not just foreign workers not putting their money into Sri Lankan banks that are known for corruption, but it's also predominantly an energy shortage that is fueling the crisis unfolding in that country right now and the larger instability, as of course people are finding it more and more difficult to try to survive and work. Sri Lanka has even publicly asked the president of Russia for help, specifically when it comes to allocating fuel and energy for them. This, as of course Russia has been making record profits off of selling energy to the rest of the world, while of course the United States still puts sanctions on them. This, as we just have more vague generalized comments from the president of Russia today that has announced that, quote, Russia hasn't really even started yet, specifically warning the West about Russia's larger ambitions when it comes to the geopolitical proxy conflict happening right now between the West and the East inside of Ukraine. The situation in Ukraine is getting more desperate there, as the president of Ukraine warns that he desperately needs more shipment of weapons into his country. This, as Ukrainian reservists are being sent to intercept Russian tanks with civilian cars, according to the Daily Mail. This, as there's many reports of Ukrainian soldiers running out of equipment. This, as Ukraine has just retreated from the Luhansk region, which Russia has occupied, and Russia is moving forward with its larger acquisition of Ukrainian territory as the battles there rage on and things are looking more and more desperate for the people of Ukraine. This, as we're also finding out today that NASA is warning the United States that China and Russia are planning to build a, quote, lunar base to occupy the moon, and with Belarus sending out conscripts to its people, the discussion of moon bases, I think it's very fair to say that the situation is getting a little bit out of hand. And we've been warning about that for a while now, and we've been trying to be like, hey, don't do this, stop, it's like crazy, and no one listened. Here we are today, as of course the situation doesn't look good for everyone. Not just people of Sri Lanka, people of Ukraine, people of Russia, people of the United States, but the people of the world that have put their own personal liberty and power into sociopathic, crazy individuals that don't give a damn about them and only give a damn about themselves. That's my perspective. That's my opinion. If you thought I was wrong in any way, shape, or form, please let me know why down in the comment section below. I always appreciate your perspectives and opinions, especially if they counter mine. I love having thought-provoking conversations, and one of the best ways to do that is, of course, to open yourself up towards constructive criticism, which, of course, we always do here in the comment section below. If you agreed with what I said and you think it's an important message, well, it's your job, it's your duty to share that message with your friends, family members, strangers, people walking down the street. You're in the supermarket, the lady bagging your groceries, be like, hey, you should check out youtube.com/wearechange, because I think you deserve to have your paradigm shifted into the true reality of what we're dealing with. Don't question it. Say it exactly just like I did it. Have some fun. Enjoy your life. One more video coming your way right now on lukeuncensored.com. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for a lot more here on wearechange.org.